Hello, beautiful people. How are you today? So, let me give you a couple of moments. I want to talk about Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga's resilience, her style, and being resilient. She actually talked about 5 ways how she implements resilience in her life. And I want to look at these with you. So, how are you today? It's evening in Germany. Good evening to you. If it's not the evening, good morning, whatever. How are you today? So, um, okay, let's take like one more minute and wait before we start to talk about resilience, Lady Gaga style. If you want to drop a comment, you'd actually help me out because true story, in my first live stream, I actually asked, hi Rita, hi lovely. I actually asked in my very first live stream, like desperately, okay, I need some feedback. Can you hear me? Am I loud enough? This, that. And afterwards, I realized that I had actually switched off the live stream, the comments, the live chat. So, hi Rita, how are you today? So, the live chat is working. I'm really grateful for that. Okay, let's talk about Lady Gaga and her resilience, her approach to resilience. And let me actually talk about an article that I wrote entitled Resilience Lady Gaga Style. And it was supposed to go on, wait for it, Psychology Today. Yep. And how did I get there? Because I am I have the best teacher in the world when it comes to creativity coaching, which is Eric Meisel. And if you don't know him, my videos, I talk about him all the time. He's actually the one that introduced me to the idea of making meaning. So that meaning is not something that you actually find outside in the world if you're really lucky, like an Easter egg that life hid for you, but that meaning is something that you produce yourself, and hence you can make your life meaningful. You yourself have the ability to make your life meaningful. So he was the one who introduced me to that, and I'm glad to see that you're doing great, Rita. Yeah, I'm totally fine. I couldn't be better, especially now that we are here. So, Eric actually invited a bunch of creativity coaches, including me, to share his Psychology Today blog with him, to appear as a guest on his blog. And Psychology Today, they have a policy that they actually check guest blogs. And what can I say? Like the rest of the blogs, they've all been approved and published, and mine hasn't. And I do believe that is because it is entitled Resilience Lady Gaga Style, and that might be a touch too pop for Psychology Today. Nevertheless, I was really waiting for this article to come out because I have so much on the topic, including a course that I offered to you. And I made 3 videos about the topic already. And I didn't mean to like just dump that on you and then disappear. I actually wanted it to be like included with the article, and everything was really perfectly timed and well thought through. And then everything fell apart, and it made me really feel like not within the sphere of my influence. And so I decided, let's go on YouTube, let's do this live, and let's talk about it. And it doesn't really matter whether Psychology Today publishes the article or not, because I have my platform, I have YouTube. So here we are. Let me start with the very first one, which is radical acceptance. And this is actually so basic a term, radical acceptance, and yet I cannot stress how important it is, because you cannot change something. And I know this is a cliche, and you've probably heard it 10,000 times. You cannot change something that you cannot accept. So for a problem to be solved, to be solvable, you need to acknowledge that it is there. It's very easy, very simple. And with radical acceptance, it goes a long way. It can go from, I need to figure out a way how to make more money, or I need to figure out a way how to be able to get out of bed in the morning. You need to just acknowledge the problem. So, number one, radical acceptance. And it was actually in the second part of the Chromatica interview that I analyzed for you, where Lady Gaga talks about this. Then, a topic that is so important to me is like what I call the drive from within. The her exclamation when she says to the interviewer, you know, I have absolutely no idea why I am doing this, although it brings me so much pain being an artist, being like subject to objectification and all that. But I have to do it. And I actually like explained that with artists make art because they are artists. And that is one way of looking at it. It's kind of like the short way. And I'm not trying to be clever. But the other day, I had a beautiful conversation with Mark Baxter, who is an amazing vocal coach that I love deeply. And he had the explanation or the example actually of a bird that is building a nest because it is in its genes, like it's his whole being is like, I have to build this nest. And it doesn't even have good tools for that. It has a beak, you know? And nevertheless, there's this drive from within that tells this bird, you have to make a nest. And it's the same with artists. We are different creatures. We are not normal human beings. There is this drive within us that tells us you have to make art, whether you're making money with it or whether your stuff gets published or not. There's just this, I have to do this. And here's actually where radical acceptance comes into play again. You need to accept this. There's absolutely no use in saying, I think I'm an artist, but I really want to do something else. I want to be responsible. I want to do what my family wants me to do or whatever it is. If you're an artist, you're an artist. There's no way that you change that without making yourself terribly miserable. And we do not want to do that. That's not why we're here. So, growing from a spark is my next topic. So we had, first of all, we had radical acceptance, then we had the drive from within, and now we are at growing from a spark. And this is actually my favorite because it is so easy to apply and it brings results very, very quickly. Growing from a spark, as Gaga put it, she was like, look inside of yourself and find that one piece, that one part that is not broken, is how she put it. And it's actually positive psychology. Positive psychology is a notion in psychology where they look at the things that work. So usually psychology looks at all the things that do not work, and then there are the diagnoses, and they give you like, okay, you're depressed, you are bipolar, you are this, you are that. So they look at the areas that do not work, and positive psychology does the exact opposite. And that is something that is so valuable. And as I said before, you can use that in your life. If you're able to get out of bed, yay to you. That is great. And if you're able, I don't know, to go to work or to be a friend, or if you're able to change your mood by, for example, putting on some music, that is so valuable. It is unspeakably valuable. And this part of positive psychology is something that I really want to what's the word, explore explore more with you, because there is so much to talk about. On my list as the next thing is another really handy trick to make your life better, like kind of like in an instant, and that's wabi sabi. I've spoken so much about wabi sabi that it's like, oh no, here she goes again. My point is, I don't want you to become like perfect students of the philosophy of imperfection. That would actually kind of defeat the purpose. I made a, hey Joe, hey Joe, hi. Good to see you. So I made a playlist that covers a lot of wabi sabi if you want to go deeper into the topic, but actually you don't have to go that deep, because wabi sabi is very simple if you want to implement it into your life. It's just say no to perfectionism. Very simple. I just the other day learned the only right is the finish line. And I really love that because, or done is better than perfect. There are so many shorthands for this. You can call it wabi sabi. You can call it done is better than perfect. Call it whatever you like, but perfectionism is a killer. I think we all know that. And check out my wabi sabi playlist. I will put it somewhere in the description. I think I did not do that. I was imperfect in writing my description. And the fifth method of thank you, Joe. Yeah, I love wabi sabi as well. I especially love it when there is like a snappy shortcut to saying a lot of things. And so wabi sabi is such an easy thing to just say, to throw out there. I'm not perfect, wabi sabi. And actually, this is something. Wabi sabi is not just the imperfection, but also it goes against our concept of youth and also of this notion that we have to be happy all the time. Um, so it promotes imperfection, it promotes the beauty and wisdom of age, and it promotes what was the third thing? Melancholy. So it is totally okay to not be happy all the time. And I really love that because there is so much pressure. And actually, I just talked to Joe about this because you might know that we did the Artist Way together, and we're voice chatting, voice messaging all the time. And I told him that this need to be happy all the time is actually very damaging, and it is totally okay if you have like this melancholy in you. And it's interesting, yeah. um, there are so many wabi sabi. It's, as I said, it is a really handy shortcut to say this, and if you get deeper into this, it lifts so much pressure off of you, which is really nice and beautiful. So let's look at the fifth method. The fifth method is spreading kindness, and all of my Gaga fans out there, you know that she's like the ambassador of kindness, and I love it. And at the same time, it makes me a little bit sad when she talked about how she is kind up to an obnoxious level, and she considers herself like a punk in being kind. And I've said this in an analysis. Let me just quickly recap. A punk is somebody, like per definition, or when you look at the punk movement, who places themselves outside of society, and they do so by a forced ugliness. So they go against fashion, and that is really where all the torn clothes and the burned up clothes and the safety pins in their ears and stuff, where that came from. And nowadays it's a fashion style which goes completely against the philosophy and the original concept. Nevertheless, when Gaga says, I'm a punk, I am kind, she actually puts herself like outside of society, or she feels that she puts herself outside of society by being kind. And that is actually really sad, I think. And so I completely and totally um, agree with her that the world needs more kindness. And I love the ways that she promotes that, be it through her book and through the Born This Way Foundation. So this is really beautiful. Kindness is a major value for her. It might not be that major for you, although I guess we can all agree that it is, like, in general, better to be kind than not to be. So you might have a different value that is actually helping you to build resilience. And in one of the videos that I just published, I actually had a yes, Rita, I totally agree. The world definitely needs more kindness. Absolutely. There can not be enough kindness, for sure. And in the video that I just published, I actually gave you the exercise. And I know that this is tough for some people and there are different ways, but this is one exercise that brings results really fast, which is to write your eulogy. There should be like dramatic music right now. But if you think about what you want people to say at your own funeral, at your own wake, those that exercise goes to the core of your being immediately. If you think about, okay, I want to say, I want to hear them say she loved her family, she was loved by her family, or he was such a great friend, then you have your core values already. And from that, you can actually build your life plan. And I also have a video on how to come up with your life plan if you want to check that out. And then your life plan is another shortcut, and you already know that I love them, is a shortcut to making decisions. You can make decisions really fast when you know your values, because you immediately know, no, I cannot do this. This goes against my values. Yes, I can do that because it is totally aligned with my values. So it's actually a great thing to know this. Oh, so if you think that writing the eulogy is a little bit strong for me, then you can do the another approach, which is the rocking chair approach. I wanted to say rocket chair, but that's something different. So the rocking chair. Imagine that you're 100 years old and you're sitting out on your porch in a rocking chair, and you look back at your life and identify like the 5 best moments of your life. If you're able to do that, do you see how this is a little bit more on the upside than writing your eulogy? If you do that, you come to the conclusion of your core values again. And that is really, from there, you can build up a resilience that is truly monster-like. I really like the idea of monster-like resilience, but I also like monsters, so you might not. Okay, Joe wrote, it makes you more selfless. We always put others to the back, but deep down what we want is to help others. Yeah, right. That is right. That is actually, in the beginning, I talked about that my Psychology Today guest blog has not been published yet, and I doubt that it will, and which makes me really sad, not because I need the prestige or whatever, but because I know that a lot of people, it would have reached a lot of people, and in turn, I would be able to help more people. So, and that's what I'm all about, because all this knowledge that I gathered in sending hugs right back, all this knowledge that I gathered in living my life as an artist in more than 2 decades, and like living my whole life as an artist, I see, like, with my clients and also with my YouTube subscribers and the people that I know from there, I see how it transforms them. And that can actually happen like with one sentence, like regarding meaning. Like, meaning is not something out there. Meaning is something in here that you create. It's a feeling, and you can create this feeling. So that was all that I wanted to say. Let me give you a minute to see whether there are any questions. I came up with a course in building monster-like resilience, and you didn't get booked for the TV show. Yes. Yeah, there's always something. I mean, some things work out, some things don't, and sometimes things work out like in a way that is so beautiful that we could not have imagined it. And on the whole, I have to say I believe in synchronicity, and there is a reason why this article wasn't published. So we're all good with that. So I created a course offer, like a really intimate group coaching with not more than 10 people. If you want to look into that, it's in the 3rd video on resilience. If you want to reach out to me, you can do that via email. I'm so proud that I now have these professional looking emails. So there is hello@iamshallalla.com. And if you're interested in the course offer, you can send an email to monsters@iamshallalla.com, and that will take you to a questionnaire that is part of the application for the coaching. So Right. Even if things don't work out, keep a positive outlook on life. Yes, I love that. I absolutely love that. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I see you soon with another regularly produced video, which is either the week 12 of the Artist Way series with Joe Holmes. And Joe, by the way, how about our Chromatica series? How is that coming along? No pressure, but we're all waiting. So it's either that or it's my conversation with Mark Baxter, which was actually in the Mental Challenges of Singers series. And that was a beautiful conversation, and I can't wait to share it with you. Joe Holmes, nearly. Great. We're looking forward to that. Absolutely. I love you all. Thank you for watching, and see you very, very, very soon. Bye.